Hello YouTube, back once again with my film reviews, and the other night I saw the new I shouldn't say Marvel, Fox Marvel superhero flick, Deadpool, and, plot of this movie, it is the story of the superhero Deadpool, a man who is dying of cancer, so underwent treatment that basically gave him the powers of a mutant, which made him Deadpool, in which now he can pretty much regenerate from anything. Like he's like wasn't capable of being killed. So that's the plot of the movie. Let's get into this movie. What's the good and bad of this movie? Well, the good, Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool. He was, I'm very glad Ryan Reynolds finally got a show that he could play a superhero. He has gotten some really bad luck with that department between, his original appearance as Deadpool and X-Men Origins Wolverine and Green Lantern, and I always felt so bad for him when everyone was blaming him for Green Lantern. That was not at all his fault, that part. And because this movie truly proves what a great superhero can be. Because in this movie, he is funny, he is charismatic, he is badass, and he is by far the best part of this movie from beginning to end. He is when he's on screen as Deadpool, that is when this movie really comes to life. So, there was that. Also, though, Stefan Kapikic, I hope I'm saying that right, probably not, though, as the voice of Colossus, and Brianna Hildenbrand as Negasonic Teenage Warhead. They were both also tons of fun in this movie, and both of them had some of the best lines in it. Thankfully they were used sparingly, so this didn't feel like this was like Fox just telling the directors, yeah, sure, you can make a Deadpool movie, but keep selling our X-Men during the entire film. No, this never started feeling like an X-Men movie. It just felt like there just happened to be two random X-Men in this movie, and they were both tons of fun. The comedy was great. There was a very good hit and miss ratio. Of course, some jokes were dumb when you're spewing out a joke every goddamn second, but but for the most part, a lot of them hit. The action was fantastic. It was bloody. It was energetic. There was no goddamn shaky cam, which is amazing nowadays, when the shaky cam is not used in a movie, and I give this movie so much credit for not using the shaky cam, and because the action looked great in this film, and I give this movie credit. This was a superhero comic movie that went for the hard R. I have never seen that before. Especially nowadays, I never thought we'd really get that, considering how big of the Marvel Cinematic Universe is, how their television shows go for the hard R, but not their movies. That was amazing. It was just great. I was just great how this movie never felt like it was holding back in the slightest with the action and the jokes and what people were saying. So, yeah, that's what I thought was great. What was great about this movie. But here's the thing: I know a lot of people are saying this movie is freaking amazing, like from beginning to end. I don't. Just know that right now, because I thought there was a lot of issues with this movie that no one seems to be mentioning. So let me get into that. This is the hugest issue with this movie. This movie kept praising itself as being like, in the marketing, that this was going to be a real game changer for the superhero genre, like really go against what the Marvel Cinematic Universe is doing right now. And I will say this: the character of Deadpool does. But everything, and I mean everything else in this movie, is as average and uninspired as it gets in a superhero flick nowadays. It is so cliched as humanly possible. And it's not even, like, done in an ironic way. And don't say that's not true. They weren't trying to act like they were a game changer. Yes, they were. There's a brilliant joke in the opening of the movie when, during the opening credits sequence, when it's just showing, like, the opening credits and just saying who's in this movie, and instead of getting the actors' names like Ryan Reynolds and whatnot, they instead just basically just get a credit just like the archetypical characters that are in all superhero flicks nowadays. Like, it's a brilliant line when basically they're like the comedy, or like the credit will just let us say the comedy relief, the CGI character, the pouty teenager, the really hot chick. That's a brilliant satire. If any genre deserves to be ripped anew, if any genre deserves to be ripped anew one at the moment, it is certainly the superhero genre at the moment, and that was a brilliant riff off the superhero genre, but that was really it, though. Everything else is cliched as possible. Like, the story of how he became Deadpool, the whole origin story, it's about an hour long. I'm serious. In an hour and 40-minute movie, it's about an hour long until he finally is in full costume as Deadpool. Like, he's only on screen as Deadpool for about 40 minutes in this movie. Like, the majority of the time he is not Deadpool. And it's so weird because, like, how long the origin story part of it is, because the trailer, like, perfectly summarized it in about 1 minute. You know that 1 minute in the trailer where basically it's like, oh, I have cancer, I have a girlfriend, I'm gonna go, like, through, like, torture treatment to become a superhero and save myself. That's literally an hour of this movie. That is literally stretched to an hour long in this film, and, it's just so, why would you spend that much so long on it? It's so annoying. Like, you could have honestly they could have honestly made a brilliant joke, like making a riff off the superhero genre. Like, if just it started, well, the movie starts with him as Deadpool, like in the backseat of a cab. That was pretty funny. If he was just basically just turned to the camera and just said, oh, want to know how I became Deadpool? Literally, like, they literally just showed, like, the 1 minute trailer and just said, like, yeah, who cares about anything else? That would have been hilarious if they did that, but they didn't. They went for the most typical, boringest, mediocre, cliched superhero origin story you can go for, and, like, I'm forgiving it to it, like, for, like, the first wave of Marvel superhero films because they were just starting off then. At this point, though, we all know how these stories go, so why did you feel like you had to spend so much time on it? Not just that, though. Like, the villain in this movie is just god-awful. Like, even by the Marvel Cinematic Universe goes, he is I can't think of a worse one. I honestly can't. I think this guy is the all-time worst I have ever seen. There is nothing to this guy. He does not feel the least bit powerful, the least bit threatening. He is completely forgettable. He is not played for laughs. He's not played for ironic laughs in the slightest. It's that's another case. Like, why didn't they make the villain, like, a super over-the-top evil? Like, if they want to make, like, a straight-up, like, evil villain. Like, make him super over-the-top evil. He wasn't. He was just super serious and completely forgettable in this movie. Like, oh, God. I would honestly argue that, honestly, I feel like Ant-Man was a better riff off the superhero genre than this movie was. And Ant-Man was from Marvel themselves. Like, that movie had great riffs off the superhero genre. Like, like that movie, like, they knew their villain had nothing to them. The guy from House of Cards and Black Mass, that actor, I keep forgetting his name. I really like him though. He was a complete, like, one-dimensional villain, but they made us over-the-top evil as possible. Like, he maniacally laughed. Like, there's, like, a line where he basically just says, I like to kill adorable lambs. Like, that was hilariously over-the-top. Like, the character that died in, like, Ant-Man, like, they made a joke instead of it being, like, the character's, like, trainer or, like, best friend. It was just, like, it was Paul Rudd's favorite ant. Like, and it was like, Anthony, no! Like, that was a more clever riff off the superhero genre than this movie was. The one that praised itself for being that. It's just so much more annoying in this movie than it is in other movies. Just because, one, superhero films have been going for long and hard for a while now. Like, it's not like this was made, like, near the time of, like, Iron Man 1 and 2 or Captain America or Thor. And don't say, like, I'm not being fair to this movie, because it's still annoying me in those movies, too. But it's even somehow more annoying in this movie, though, because it keeps praising itself for not being that when it's completely that. Oh, God. So that's, guys, I know those 40 minutes when Ryan Reynolds is on screen as Deadpool are amazing. But, my God, that other hour of the movie, though, I thought was, like, It was mediocre at best, in my opinion. I would say even less than mediocre, because it was so obnoxiously praising itself, like, we're not being that, while being completely that, unironically. So Deadpool, this is a tough one. On an entertainment value, I would probably say I really liked it. But I'm just so annoyed with this movie that it thinks it's so much more clever than it is and won't stop shutting up about the fact it's so clever. So I'm in Deadpool. A 3 out of 5. I liked it. It's a good movie. Go see it. It's worth a watch. But my god, is this not the game changer to superhero films this wants to be, but I'm excited. I am excited for Deadpool 2 now. Hopefully, next film, they will go batshit insane with this content, because this could be great, Deadpool, because the character Deadpool was great, the action was great, everything else was just awful, though, in my opinion. Well, not awful, just as cliche and boring as possible. So, that's my thoughts on Deadpool. YouTube, as always, please subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.